What if tonight you could stop fighting the thoughts that chase you? What if peace didn't depend on solving, fixing, or controlling, but on letting go? What if rest itself was waiting, already prepared, already near? What if God was closer than the next breath, holding the calm your soul keeps searching for? Take a slow, deep breath. Let the shoulders fall. Let the hands unclench. Let the weight of the day begin to slip away. Breathe again. Slower this time. Let the air fill your lungs like light entering darkness. And as you breathe out, feel the world grow quieter, softer, safer. If these stories bring you peace, take a moment to like this video. Subscribe for more nightly reflections, and share where you're listening from tonight. Your words and presence help keep this space warm and growing. Now, take another slow breath. Let's begin. The air is cool and tender. Dawn still a promise along the horizon. A soft breeze moves through the olive trees, their silver leaves whispering in rhythm with the breath of the earth. The sky above is pale and waiting, quiet as prayer. Beneath the trees, a small stone path winds through a walled garden. Each step the traveler takes is slow, deliberate, like walking through the pages of peace itself. He comes seeking rest, though he cannot name what he truly needs. His thoughts still flutter like restless birds, moving from memory to worry, from tomorrow to yesterday. But here, in the hush of morning, the noise begins to thin, and in that quiet, he remembers the verse. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. He whispers it under his breath, the words steady and alive. He does not yet feel peace, but he feels the invitation of it, a pull toward surrender, a call to stop holding the world so tightly. The breeze passes through the branches again, and with it comes something unseen, something like a presence. It does not speak, but it feels like a voice made of calm. Peace is not earned. It seems to say, peace is given, not forced upon the heart, but received by it. Breathe in that whisper. Breathe out the need to understand. Trust does not ask for clarity. It asks for rest. The traveler reaches a small fountain in the garden's center. Water spills gently over smooth stone. The sound soft, constant, pure. He kneels beside it, watching how the surface ripples with light. And he realizes, peace moves like this. It does not stand still. It flows, even when unseen, even when the world stirs above it. He dips his fingers into the water. It is cool, steady, alive. He watches it drip from his hand, slow, deliberate, and something inside him loosens, are not untied by stillness itself. The verse returns to him again. You will keep in perfect peace. He lingers on that word, keep. It feels like a promise, a protection, a keeping close. Not a peace that visits and leaves, but one that stays, guards, surrounds. He exhales slowly, the morning air filling with light. And as he breathes out, he feels it, not full peace yet, but the beginning of it. The small quiet at the edge of trust. Breathe in, and let peace draw nearer. Breathe out, and let the mind settle like water in a still cup. The garden around him hums softly with life. Unseen birds stirring in the trees. The fragrance of jasmine drifts through the air, delicate and sweet. Everything seems to be breathing with him now. Everything in rhythm. Everything surrendered. And in that moment, he understands what perfect peace means. It is not perfection of circumstance, but perfection of presence. The heart anchored in trust. The mind resting in God. He closes his eyes, and the silence that fills the space between thoughts feels alive, filled with someone kind, the one who keeps, who holds, who guards every heart that dares to trust. Breathe in, stillness. Breathe out, surrender. Let your heart be kept. Let your mind rest. The heavens begin to pale with morning. Light rising softly over the garden walls. And the first warmth of day brushes his skin like the touch of peace itself. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. The words echo once more, not from his lips, but from within his heart. This is where peace begins. Here, in trust, in stillness, in the quiet keeping of God. The garden is waking slowly. A pale hush settled across leaf and stone. Dew like tiny lanterns holding the first light. Yet inside his chest the night still lingers. Thoughts circle like swallows searching for a place to land. One rises as another falls, and each carries a small question in its beak. What if? What then? What next? The path beneath his feet is smooth, but the path within is crowded. Memories brush past like travelers at a gate. Small scenes asking to be seen again. Tasks that did not finish. Words that were not spoken. Outcomes that cannot be controlled. He breathes, and the mind keeps moving. A soft wind slides through the olive branches. Silver leaves turning like pages. The fountain keeps its gentle song. And still the mind resists the quiet. As if quiet were a stranger. He has known this feeling before. The hum beneath the ribs. The small ache behind the eyes. A tiredness that sleep alone does not touch. The world around him is safe. Lamplight in the house beyond the wall. Distant footfalls on stone. birds waking in the cypress. Yet the body remembers older storms, and the mind rehearses thunder long after the sky is clear. Breathe in, he tells himself, the way the garden breathes. Breathe out, the way the branches let go of night. He watches his hands unclench, the fingers learning the shape of rest again. The mind returns with a tide of questions. Did he choose well? Did he wait too long? How will tomorrow hold? What if the door he needs will not open? Each question carries its own echo, and echoes make rooms sound bigger than they are. He does not chase them now. He lets them pass like fish beneath clear water. Seen, but not held. A dove calls from the far wall. Slow notes like drops of milk into silence. The call does not hurry the air. It only blesses it. He looks toward the sound and thinks, perhaps thoughts could be like this too. Slow, blessed, unhurried. Not commands, not alarms, only visitors. And visitors do not own the house they enter. Breathe in, notice. Breathe out, release. Let the thought arrive, and let it leave. He watches a worry drift through the chest like a grey cloud across a brightening sky. It does not belong to the sky. And when the wind moves, the blue remains. He remembers the words he spoke in the first light. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. He takes the phrase in small sips, not as a lesson, but as medicine. You will keep, a keeping that is stronger than his holding. Perfect peace, the double word of completeness. Shalom upon shalom, wholeness upon wholeness. Those whose minds are steadfast, not unmoving like stone, but steady like a river that knows its bed. Because they trust in you. And there the restless mind finds the hinge on which the door turns. Trust. Not a feeling he must manufacture. Not a proof he must assemble. But a posture. A leaning. A softened neck and an open hand. Trust is the lamp the soul lights when corridors grow long. Trust is the hand upon the latch when the door ahead looks heavy. Trust is the quiet yes breathed into places where words have failed. He takes a step along the path, bare feet on warm stone. The air carries the cool of water, the sweetness of crushed mint along the border. A small cat moves like smoke along the wall and disappears into rosemary. The leaves hold its passing. Then let it go. He learns from rosemary, from stone, from water, from the stealth of a cat. Nothing clings. Everything belongs. Breathe in. Belonging. Breathe out. Clinging. He notices the mind soften at the edges, the way frost softens under early light. Another wave of thought rises, this one wearing the face of yesterday. A conversation that pricked, a silence that stung. He lifts it and sets it down like a pebble from the pocket. Not into the fountain. Not to echo and splash. But beside the path with other stones he has already surrendered. A small altar of let go. The garden receives it without remark. The air does not change. Only the weight in his chest grows lighter by a breath. He kneels and touches the ground. Cool. Firm. Faithful. The earth knows how to hold what he cannot. Seeds. Seasons. Sorrows too heavy for a single pair of hands. He presses his palm a little deeper and feels the truth rise through the skin. The world is not carried by his thinking. It is carried by a love older than thinking. A white moth drifts through a shaft of morning. Dust of light on its wings. It does not plan its path. It is guided. Breathe in. Guided. Breathe out. Driven. He lets the mind hear the difference. As a violin hears the difference between strain and song. He stands again. And the fountain keeps saying what it has always said. In every season. One voice. One flow. Peace is not a wall against the world. Peace is a river through it. He places the verse there. Upon that sound. Like a leaf set gently on water. You will keep. He watches the leaf float. Never hurried. Never stuck. Carried by something patient and kind. The sun finds the lip of the wall. A gold line appears upon pale stone. The first warmth kisses his forearms. With the warmth comes memory. Not of worry, but of keeping. Times he had no map and walked anyway. Nights he fell asleep at last and woke somehow restored. Decisions he feared and later saw become doors. Keeping. Everywhere. Threaded through the ordinary like light through linen. Breathe in. Remembrance. Breathe out. Regret. The mind that remembers mercy forgets its need to manage everything. He looks inward and calls the restless parts by name. Fear of lack. Fear of loss. Fear of being unknown. He blesses each one without argument. Child. You may sit. He imagines chairs under the fig at the edge of the path. Places for each small fear to rest. Not banished. Not loud. Just seated in the shade while love prepares breakfast within. A bell rings far away. Or perhaps it is only a wind chime touching itself awake. The sound lifts and falls. The fears grow drowsy. You will keep. He whispers again. And the words feel true in the mouth that has tasted them. Perfect peace. Not the peace of finished lists. But the peace of a faithful keeper. Those whose minds are steadfast. Steady not by force. But by focus. Because they trust in you. There the sentence ends. And there his striving ends with it. Breathe in. Focus. Breathe out. Force. Let attention become devotion. Let devotion become rest. He sits on the low rim of the fountain. Knees relaxed. Shoulders lowered. Head gently bowed as if the neck remembered the posture of blessing. The water reflects the widening sky. A page that writes itself in light. He reads without reading. He receives without reaching. The mind still speaks at times, but now its voice has softened. It does not sprint down corridors. It walks the garden with him. It pauses to watch a bee enter a trumpet flower and emerge dusted with gold. It learns the cadence of this place. Inhale. Exhale. Step. Stillness. Listen. Surrender. Breathe in. Now. Breathe out. Not yet. And even time loosens its grip. The sharp edges of before and after blur into the mercy of this moment. He lifts his face and lets the breeze cross it like a hand. Gentle. Deliberate. Blessing. The garden will not answer all his questions, but it will answer the one beneath them. Who holds me? And when that answer rises, the other questions lose their teeth. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. He lets the words become his breathing. He lets the meaning become his posture. The restless mind is not an enemy to defeat. It is a traveler to lead home. Breathe in. Home. Breathe out. Hurry. He feels the door within unlatch. He feels the keeper near. The doves grow louder. The light deepens. A sweetness like new bread hides in the air. He is not finished. But he is no longer fighting. The mind has begun to rest upon God. And God has begun to keep the mind. The garden opens wide as the sun begins to climb. Light settles softly across the stone path. The morning air cool. Fragrant. Gentle as a promise. The traveler moves slowly now. Not to reach an end, but to feel each moment unfold. His feet press lightly against the ground. And with every step, the hum within his mind grows fainter. The walls of the garden rise around him. Not high, not harsh, but protective. Vines spill down from their edges, green and alive. The scent of jasmine floating in the air. He realizes, this is not a prison. It is a sanctuary. The world still moves beyond these walls. Yet within them, time stands still. It is as though the air itself has chosen peace. Breathe in. The scent of new morning. Breathe out. The noise that still lingers in the mind. Let stillness take its seat beside you. He finds a bench beneath a fig tree. Smooth wood polished by years of quiet visitors. He sits. The posture of waiting becoming prayer. A bee drifts lazily between blossoms. Wings shining gold in the sun. A small bird hops near the fountain. Tipping its head. Dipping its beak into the water. The ripples shimmer outward. small circles of light upon stone. He smiles faintly. Even here, everything knows how to rest. The tree bears fruit in silence. The water flows without demand. The bird drinks without fear. Peace is not forced here. It simply is. He recalls the verse again. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. He whispers it once more, this time not to remember, but to agree, for the garden around him seems to echo it, the leaves moving like a soft amen in the breeze. Breathe in, and feel that agreement in the air. Breathe out, and let the tension in the chest dissolve. Peace is here, not as an idea, but as presence. The traveler leans back, tilting his head toward the branches above. Between the leaves, the sky glows bright and endless, a canvas painted with gentleness. He closes his eyes and listens. No voices, no footsteps, only the steady pulse of creation breathing beside him. He feels the weight of his thoughts slide quietly from his shoulders, as though the garden itself gathers them into its care. For a long time, he says nothing. He only breathes. And as he does, something deep within begins to loosen. That small inner tremor, the one that keeps the heart alert, ready, waiting for what could go wrong, begins to fade. In its place, warmth spreads slowly, a quiet rootedness, as if peace has taken root inside him. He whispers softly, "This is the keeping." The words barely leave his lips, but he knows they are true. This is what it means to be kept, not untouched by the world, but held safe within it. He opens his eyes again. The light has shifted now. The garden alive with a soft hum, bees at work, leaves brushing, water singing. Every sound feels intentional. No discord, no rush. He realizes the same peace that orders this garden is capable of ordering the heart. Breathe in, order. Breathe out, overwhelm. Let your thoughts fall into rhythm with the life around you. He looks at the olive branches swaying above him, their movement steady, gentle, sure. They bend, but they do not break. He traces their lines with his eyes, and feels that same strength rising in him, a strength not of resistance, but of yielding. He whispers again, "You will keep in perfect peace," and this time, he feels the truth of it settle within his ribs. Peace does not come from what he holds together, but from what holds him. A dove lands near the fountain. It drinks, then lifts its wings, and with one quiet motion, rises into the light. Its flight is effortless, slow, unafraid. And he realizes, trust feels just like that. Breathe in, trust. Breathe out, trying. Let your faith become weightless again. The garden begins to glow with late morning gold, shadows curling beneath the trees. He knows he will not stay here forever. The path will lead him outward again. But this peace, this still air, this quiet heart, can travel with him. It is not bound to place. It is bound to presence. He presses his palm against the bench, feeling the warmth of the wood, a small act of gratitude for what has already begun within him. Peace has not fully arrived yet, but it has found its way in. The traveler smiles, eyes soft, voice barely above a whisper. Thank you for perfect peace, for the quiet that keeps me. The wind moves through the garden once more, slow, tender, almost like a reply. Breathe in, rest. Breathe out, assurance. You are safe. You are seen. You are kept. The heavens declare his glory. The garden declares his peace. And the trusting heart declares his goodness. The garden rests in its own quiet rhythm now. Light falls in slow ribbons through the olive branches, dust shimmering in the air like golden breath. The traveler sits beneath the fig tree, eyes half closed, listening, not for sound exactly, but for presence, for the soft hum beneath all things, where words are born and peace begins. Breathe in, awareness. Breathe out, distraction. Let the air carry the noise of the world away. The water from the fountain trickles gently nearby, a steady voice in the silence. Each drop seems to say something, not in language, but in meaning. Peace, peace, peace. Over and over, like the heartbeat of creation. He closes his eyes completely now, and lets that rhythm enter him. The breath and the water become one. Inhale, exhale, ripple, stillness. And in that space, something begins to move, not outside, but within. It feels like a whisper, softer than thought, clearer than sound, a voice that does not command, but invites. Peace is not found in control, the whisper says, but in trust. The words drift through him like wind through reeds. He does not know if they are spoken aloud, or if the Spirit simply breathes them into his soul. Either way, they feel alive, true in a way that logic cannot explain. Breathe in, trust. Breathe out, tension. Let your heart remember what your mind forgot. He feels the weight of his striving, all those invisible efforts to hold everything together. The plans, the fears, the long rehearsals of Wafes. He sees them now for what they are, pebbles clutched in both hands, too small to protect, too heavy to keep. Slowly, he opens his palms, and lets them fall. The soft sound of stone upon stone echoes faintly against the fountain's song. And with that sound, something inside releases too. The soul unburdens itself. He exhales. And in the empty space where worry once lived, peace begins to bloom. He listens again. The voice returns, still soft, still near. You are safe when you trust. You are strong when you surrender. You are whole when you rest. The traveler feels tears rise quietly, not of sadness, but of recognition. The kind that come when the heart hears something it has known all along. Breathe in, receiving. Breathe out, remembering. You have never been far from peace, only from trust. He opens his eyes. The world has not changed, and yet it feels new. The trees sway. The light ripples. The air moves through the leaves with a sound like a sigh. Everything speaks the same language now, assurance. He whispers softly, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you." And for the first time, the words do not feel like hope. They feel like truth. He watches a leaf detach from a branch. It twirls slowly through the air, landing upon the water of the fountain. It floats, steady, carried by the unseen flow beneath it. He smiles. Yes, this is what trust looks like. Breathe in, the unseen. Breathe out, control. Let the current carry you, as it carries all who rest in him. The leaf drifts toward the edge, gliding over the small ripples. It never struggles. It never resists. It simply follows the gentle pull that guides it forward. And in watching it, the traveler learns more than words could ever teach. He sits quietly a long time. The garden holds him. The whisper remains. Peace is not something you chase. It is something that finds you when you stop running. He bows his head, hands resting upon his knees, heart open like the morning sky. And in that stillness, the voice speaks once more, not into his ears, but into his being. I am your peace. You do not have to make it. You only have to stay near. He breathes in deeply, and with that breath, every restless part of him exhales at last. The body loosens. The mind quiets. The spirit leans. Breathe in, nearness. Breathe out, striving. Let peace take the place of effort. The garden hums with contentment. Bees tracing gold lines through the air. Doves calling softly from the wall. And the traveler, now silent, simply listens, not to learn, but to rest. The heavens declare his glory. The wind declares his kindness. And the heart, trusting and still, declares his peace. The day has settled into a calm brightness. The light now glows through the leaves, each one trembling like small green candles in the breeze. The traveler remains by the fountain, eyes soft, breath even, heart steady. Peace has entered the edges of him, gentle, patient, kind. But peace does not stay where hands are still closed. He knows this now. Peace comes through release, not possession, through loosening, not grasping. Breathe in, light. Breathe out, holding. Let everything that weighs you down begin to fall away. He looks down at his reflection in the water. The ripples shift the image gently. Never still, never sharp. And he realizes he has tried to live like that reflection, constantly adjusting, constantly chasing clarity, always trying to keep stillness through effort. But true stillness cannot be forced. It can only be trusted. He reaches into his satchel and removes a few small stones. He had gathered them along the way, tokens of the road, symbols of things he could not yet lay down. One for worry, one for regret, one for control, one for YFS. Each cool against his palm, each heavier than it should be. He kneels by the edge of the fountain, the sound of water cradling his motion. He closes his eyes and lifts one stone at a time. Worry first. He breathes in deeply, holding it for a moment, then exhales and lets it fall. The sound of stone meeting water is soft, but final. The ripples spread outward, and he watches how quickly the surface returns to calm. Worry, he realizes, leaves no scar when surrendered early. He lifts another. Regret. This one feels colder, sharper. He hesitates, but then remembers the voice. You are strong when you surrender. He breathes again and lets it go. The water receives it without resistance. No protest, no echo, only absorption. He feels the same movement happen within, the sting dissolving into peace. Breathe in, grace. Breathe out, guilt. Let the soul release what time cannot heal. The last stones sit in his hand. Control and fear of the unknown. He turns them over between his fingers. He sees now that they are the same thing, one wearing the other's name. He smiles faintly. How tightly he has held them. How fiercely he believed he needed them. He holds both above the water. The reflection of his face wavers beneath them, old worry in his eyes. Small scars of striving across his spirit. He whispers softly, I trust you, then opens his hands. The stones fall. The water ripples, and the sound echoes like freedom. Breathe in, trust. Breathe out, release. There is nothing left to grip, only peace left to receive. He remains there for a moment, hands still open, air moving between his fingers. He feels the light settle upon his skin. It is warmer now, softer, more alive. And in that warmth, he feels something fill the space where fear once lived. Something steady, something whole, something called perfect peace. The garden hums quietly around him. Even the smallest things seem to rejoice, the bees in their low song, the leaves whispering secrets to the air, the water singing softly over stone. The whole world seems to move in harmony with this single act of letting go. He looks into the fountain again. The surface is smooth once more, clear as glass. His reflection now rests easily. No distortion, no striving. He is not trying to see himself clearly anymore. He is learning to see God's keeping instead. Breathe in, calm. Breathe out, clarity. Peace does not need to be understood, only trusted. He sits back upon the stone rim, the coolness of it grounding him, the gentle sound of water wrapping him in rhythm. He closes his eyes again, and in the quiet behind his breath, he hears the whisper once more. You do not lose by releasing. You make room. You do not fall when you trust. You are held. The traveler smiles, not because life is suddenly simple, but because his soul is finally free. He looks toward the sky, pale blue now, open and vast. Birds move across it without fear, without effort. Each one carried, each one kept. He watches until the last wing fades into light. He whispers again. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. The words fall softly into the air, and peace answers back, not with sound, but with presence. Breathe in, freedom. Breathe out, fullness. You are safe. You are loved. You are kept. The heavens declare His glory. The water declares His mercy. And the heart that lets go declares His peace. The garden is silent again. The traveler sits near the fountain, hands resting loosely upon his knees, eyes half open, breathing slow, even, whole. Peace now feels less like a feeling, and more like a rhythm, a quiet pattern written by God Himself into every living thing. Breathe in, life. Breathe out, release. Every inhale a gift received, every exhale a surrender returned. He studies the ripples on the water before him. They rise, expand, fade, vanish. Each wave leaves room for another. The fountain never clings to what has passed. And so, its surface is always ready to reflect the light. He smiles faintly. That is what the soul must become. A still surface, clear enough to mirror heaven. And the only way to be still is to stop fighting the flow. He remembers the whisper he heard earlier. Peace is not found in control, but in trust. Now, he feels that truth inside his body. The breath has become its teacher. Inhale, trust enters. Exhale, fear leaves. Breathe in, presence. Breathe out, worry. The space between each breath becomes holy ground. He leans back, the cool stone of the fountain pressing gently against his spine. He feels his heartbeat slow, its rhythm syncing with the soft trickle of water. Every pulse a reminder, I am alive. I am kept. I am loved. He lets his eyes drift shut completely. The sun rests warm across his skin. And for a long time, there is no thought. Only awareness. Only stillness. Only breath. The body quiets. The mind opens. The spirit listens. And in that silence, something deep begins to speak, not in words, but in knowing. Peace is not outside of you. It whispers. It was planted within you the day you were created. You have only forgotten its sound. He exhales softly, and in that moment, every restless part of him bows. Every unspoken worry, every unfinished thought, all of it sinks beneath the surface, like dust settling into still water. Breathe in, memory. Breathe out, noise. The soul remembers what the mind forgets. That peace was always here, waiting to be felt. He opens his eyes. The garden glows brighter now, not because the sun has changed, but because he has. Each leaf seems more alive, each sound clearer, softer, nearer. The world does not rush, and neither does he. He reaches out, cupping his hand beneath the falling water. He watches it fill, clear and perfect for a moment, before slipping through his fingers. He laughs quietly. Even water cannot be held. It can only be touched, received, released. And peace is the same. The more you clutch it, the quicker it disappears. But when you hold it gently, open-handed, it lingers. It flows. It stays. Breathe in, gentleness. Breathe out, grasping. Let peace move freely through you, as water through open hands. He closes his eyes once more. This time, the breath carries him deeper. Inhale, exhale, pause. Inhale, exhale, pause. The pauses grow longer, the space between thoughts wider, and in that space, God dwells. He does not speak, yet his presence fills the quiet, not as sound, but as warmth, not as idea, but as intimacy, like the air that surrounds, unseen but sustaining. He whispers softly, "You keep me," even now, and the words vanish into the breeze, absorbed into something infinite. The traveler realizes, peace is not a state to reach. It is the sound of surrender made sacred. It is what happens when the soul finally stops struggling to earn what it already has. Breathe in, sacred. Breathe out, striving. Rest in the quiet that holds everything together. The birds begin to sing again. Faint at first, then led. Harmonies carried by wind. Their song does not disturb the silence. It completes it. Even joy, when gentle, becomes part of peace. He stays like this, unmeasured, unhurried, unseeking, simply breathing with the world, simply trusting the unseen rhythm that has always kept him. And in the stillness between breaths, he feels it clearly. Peace, whole and perfect, surrounding, within, eternal. The heavens declare his glory. The air declares his breath. And the trusting heart, resting in stillness, declares his goodness. The morning has matured into light. The sun stands gently above the garden wall, its warmth steady, golden, sure. The traveler rises slowly from where he had been sitting, his body light, his breath easy, his heart without hurry. The path before him curves toward a gate, an archway of stone framed by climbing ivy. Beyond it, the faint hum of the world calls softly, distant, harmless. He walks closer, and as he does, the wall surrounding the garden catches his eye. Smooth stones stacked upon one another, aged and weathered, each one held firmly in place. Some marked by cracks, others darkened by time, yet none broken, none fallen. And he realizes, this is what peace looks like when it stands guard. Breathe in, strength. Breathe out, fear. Let the thought of divine protection settle deep within your bones. He places a hand upon the wall, the stone cool beneath his fingertips. He feels the pulse of the morning move through it, the faint vibration of bees in the ivy, the whisper of leaves touching the surface. Even the wall, still and unmoving, hums with life. He remembers the verse again. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast. And he lingers upon that word keep once more. It feels like this wall, solid, patient, unwavering. Peace is not fragile. It is fortified. Not fragile like glass, but enduring like stone shaped by love. He smiles faintly. This wall does not trap the garden. It protects it. It does not imprison. It preserves. It creates a sacred boundary between chaos and calm. Breathe in, protection. Breathe out. Defensiveness. Let the difference fill your heart with safety, not isolation. He walks along the wall, fingers brushing the surface, feeling each groove, each line carved by weather and time. He imagines the hand of God as the builder, laying each stone of peace around the heart, one by one. Patience, trust, surrender, gratitude, each one forming a circle of stillness, a fortress built not of fear, but of faith. He whispers softly, "You have built walls around me, walls of mercy, walls of calm, walls of light." The words rise like prayer, and as he says them, the wind seems to move gently through the garden, as if in agreement. He stops before the gate, an arch of ancient wood bound by iron. The door stands open, sunlight spilling through it like blessing. He looks out beyond the garden, the hills rising in distance, the sound of a village faint upon the wind. And he knows, peace does not end where these walls end. It goes with him, because trust travels. Breathe in. Courage. Breathe out. Hesitation. Let your heart remember that the same God who guards in stillness keeps in movement. He steps just beyond the threshold. The world outside feels different now, not because it has changed, but because he has. The noise of distant voices no longer feels like intrusion. The wind carries no warning. The path ahead holds no threat. Peace does not depend on silence. It depends on presence. He turns back once more to look at the garden. Light rests upon the fountain. The walls gleam softly. The air moves in quiet waves. He realizes that the peace within these walls was never locked away. It was only teaching him to recognize what had always been keeping him. He bows his head, and in that small motion, his entire being seems to whisper, "Thank you." Breathe in. Remembrance. Breathe out. Rest. The same walls that surrounded Jerusalem now surround your spirit. Not stone and mortar, but faith and love. He takes a few steps further down the path. The olive trees beyond the wall stretch their branches outward. Their roots run deep, drinking from the same soil that feeds the garden within. And he knows, peace does not stay behind walls. It grows beyond them. He whispers once more, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you." The sound is caught by the wind, carried softly across the fields, as though the very air wishes to repeat it again and again. He smiles, for he understands now, peace is not only protection, it is participation. To live in peace is to live within the walls of God's care, and to walk beyond them is to carry that care into the world. Breathe in. Belonging. Breathe out. Distance. You are within his keeping. Wherever you go, the heavens declare his glory. The walls declare his protection. And the heart, steadfast and trusting, declares his perfect peace. The path beyond the garden glows softly beneath his feet. The morning light filters through branches, casting shifting patterns across the stone. The traveler walks slowly, unhurried, every movement gentle, deliberate, prayerful. The air hums with warmth, and within it, peace moves like a living presence. He no longer feels the need to look back at the garden. It lives within him now. The stillness, the sound of water, the whisper of trust. What once surrounded him now fills him. Breathe in, memory. Breathe out, motion. Let what you've received travel with you. He follows the narrow trail that winds toward the hills. The earth beneath him is soft, rich, alive. Each step releases the scent of thyme and mint crushed underfoot. The aroma rises like incense, and it reminds him of every moment before this one. Every road that led him here, every unseen mercy that carried him through. He remembers the days when he did not know peace, when worry was the air he breathed, when his thoughts raced through long corridors of fear, when sleep came as a stranger and rest as a visitor that never stayed. And even then, he realizes God was keeping him. Even when he could not feel it, even when he did not trust it, peace had been following quietly behind him all along, waiting for him to turn and see. Breathe in, grace remembered. Breathe out, regret forgotten. Every memory of pain can become a seed of peace when held in the light of trust. He stops for a moment and looks across the valley. The hills stretch wide, clothed in green, the sky endless above them. A flock of sheep moves like clouds across the meadow, guided by a shepherd's calm voice. The sound drifts faintly through the wind, low, steady, familiar. He smiles, because he knows that voice, not the shepherd's, but the one it reminds him of. He hears again the verse that has become his heartbeat. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. The words move through him now not as sound, but as breath. They live inside his rhythm, woven into the quiet of his being. He kneels beside a stream that crosses the path. Its surface mirrors the sky, its current slow and sure. He cups his hands and drinks. The water cool and clean. It tastes of the earth, of renewal, of something older than time. And he thinks, this is how peace feels when remembered, not as something new, but as something eternal that the heart has finally rediscovered. Breathe in, remembrance. Breathe out, revelation. Peace is never made, only uncovered. He looks at his reflection in the water again. This time it does not flicker with restlessness. His eyes are soft, his brow calm, his mouth at rest. He no longer searches for what is missing. He is remembering what was always there. He whispers softly, "Perfect peace." Not because the path is clear, but because the one who leads is good, and as he speaks, the breeze seems to rise, carrying his words away like prayer smoke. He sits for a while, beside the stream, letting the quiet gather again. Memories move through him, moments of rescue, moments of silence, times when strength came without reason, when the right door opened, or when a closed one became protection instead. All of it. Mercy. All of it. Keeping. He smiles. The heart that remembers becomes the heart that rests. For gratitude is the door through which peace enters and never leaves. Breathe in. Gratitude. Breathe out. Striving. Let every heartbeat be a quiet thank you. The traveler stands once more. He wipes his hands upon his robe, the sunlight catching the droplets that still cling to his skin. He feels alive, unguarded, open, and as he looks up, a single bird takes flight from a nearby branch. Its wings spread wide against the bright sky. Effortless, free. He watches it rise, higher, higher, until it disappears into light. He whispers again, "You have kept me. You are keeping me still." And peace answers back, not in sound, but in presence. He takes another step down the path. The air is warm, the wind gentle, the world alive with remembrance. Breathe in. Kept. Breathe out. Complete. There is no past here that can take your peace. Only love that has never left. The heavens declare His glory. The earth declares His faithfulness. And the heart, remembering mercy, declares His perfect peace. The stream beside the path glimmers in the sunlight. It twists and turns between the roots and stones, a thread of light sewn into the fabric of the earth. The traveler follows its movement, his eyes tracing the water's gentle course. It flows without hesitation, without fear of where it will end, and he feels the echo of its rhythm inside him, calm, faithful, alive. Breathe in. The sound of water. Breathe out. The sound of worry. Let your heartbeat find the pace of the current. He kneels again beside the stream, watching as leaves drift upon the surface. They glide with ease, never resisting, never rushing, each one carried exactly where it is meant to go. He touches the water lightly. It folds around his fingers. Cool, constant. He thinks, this is how peace moves. Not forced, not loud, but steady, enduring. He remembers the old words from Scripture. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God. And though that verse belongs to another psalm, he feels it breathing here too. For the same Spirit flows through all of it. The same peace that guarded Jerusalem now flows through every trusting heart. Breathe in. Flow. Breathe out. Resistance. Peace does not stand still. It moves through the willing soul. He closes his eyes and listens to the sound, the gentle gurgle of water slipping over smooth stones. It feels like prayer spoken in creation's language. Every ripple, every drop, whispering one message: trust, and you will be carried. He smiles faintly, because he has known rivers before, fast, wild, unpredictable. But this one moves differently. It does not fight against gravity. It cooperates with it. It knows how to let go. And that is what gives it strength. He exhales slowly, feeling that same truth move through him. To let go is not to lose power. It is to join it. The more he trusts, the freer he becomes. Breathe in, yielding. Breathe out, control. The Spirit carries you, as surely as water carries the leaf. He dips his hand into the stream again, and this time brings the water to his chest. It runs down his skin in a single line, cool and cleansing. The feeling makes him shiver, not from cold, but from awareness. The river outside him seems to awaken the river within. A deeper current that flows through the soul, invisible, eternal, gentle, sure. He realizes peace is not the absence of motion. It is motion surrendered. The calm that comes not from stopping, but from flowing with God instead of against Him. Breathe in, motion. Breathe out, surrender. Let the river of peace carry you deeper into rest. He sits back, eyes still closed. The sound of the water surrounding him like music. He feels the Spirit move, not above, not beside, but through his thoughts, his memories, his breath, his bones. Every part of him touched by something kind and quiet and endless. He whispers, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you." And he knows now that steadfast does not mean stiff. It means flowing faithfully in one direction. Like the river, steady, surrendered, constant. The sunlight catches the water in 1,000 places, scattering light like tiny stars. Each flicker feels like the heartbeat of heaven. He imagines the peace of God flowing like this, through valleys and hearts and time itself. A river without end. A current that never dries. He lowers his hand into the stream once more. This time, he leaves it there, not to take, but to feel. The current presses gently against his palm, warm where sunlight touches it, cool where shadows cross. And in that simple contact, he senses something sacred: connection, belonging, oneness. Breathe in. Unity. Breathe out. Separation. There is no distance between you and peace. You are already within its flow. He sits a while longer. The world continues around him. Birds in the trees, wind in the leaves, the steady voice of the water. Nothing urgent, nothing unfinished, nothing broken. Only the seamless harmony of life at rest in its maker. He smiles quietly, for now he understands. The river does not ask the mountain where it leads. It only trusts gravity, and the one who made it. So too, the heart can trust the pull of peace, the current of love that leads it home. Breathe in. Home. Breathe out. Hurry. Let the river within you run freely again. The heavens declare his glory. The waters declare his constancy. And the trusting heart, flowing in rhythm with him, declares his perfect peace. The stream winds quietly behind him now. The traveler walks onward, up a small incline where the trees part and the path opens to the wide sky. The wind moves freely here, brushing through tall grass, carrying the scent of earth and morning sun. The sound of the water fades into distance, but something within him keeps the same rhythm. A current of calm that continues to flow even without sound. Breathe in. Continuity. Breathe out. Distraction. Peace is not a place. It is a posture that travels with you. He pauses upon a ridge overlooking the valley below. The landscape stretches vast and bright, the horizon glowing softly. For a moment he closes his eyes, feeling the wind move through his hair, across his skin. The air is alive, yet it asks for nothing. It simply moves, holding the world in balance, unseen but sustaining. He thinks of the verse again. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. He repeats the phrase slowly, letting each word fall into place like a stone in a foundation. Keep. Perfect. Peace. Steadfast. Trust. Each word steady. Whole. Unbroken. He realizes. Peace is not a moment of escape from thought. It is the mind staying where truth already lives. Not drifting toward worry. Not sinking into fear. But dwelling. Resting. Anchored. Breathe in. Dwelling. Breathe out. Drifting. Let the mind return to the place where peace begins. He sits upon a smooth stone, the valley quiet beneath him. From here, the stream below glints like silver thread, weaving through trees and hills. It never strays far from its course, never hurries. never fights. It simply stays. And by staying, it fulfills its purpose. He feels a quiet smile rise inside him. That is what steadfastness looks like, not rigid, not tense, but faithful, unshaken, secure. Peace is not born from stillness alone. It is born from trust that does not wander. He lets his eyes rest on the horizon. Clouds drift slowly across the blue, their shadows moving gently across the hills. Even they, though moving, seem to know where they belong. Their path may change, their form may shift, but their purpose remains, to reflect the light above. Breathe in. Focus. Breathe out. Restlessness. Let the heart learn from the sky, from the river, from the wind. He closes his eyes again, and within the darkness, he sees the mind like water. When stirred, it ripples, distorts, loses clarity. But when it settles, it reflects heaven perfectly. And all it needs to stay clear is trust. He whispers softly, "You will keep in perfect peace." And as he says it, he imagines God's hands gently cupping the waters of his thoughts, holding them still. Not through force, but through presence. Not by command, but by comfort. He feels the warmth of the sun across his face, the weight of the earth beneath him, solid and kind. The air flows steady around him, alive with motion and yet utterly peaceful. He realizes creation never forgets who made it, and that is why it remains at rest. Breathe in. Remembrance. Breathe out. Forgetfulness. To trust is to remember. He opens his eyes once more and sees the gentle movement of the grass around him. Each blade sways, but none uproots. Each moves, but all stay grounded. That is the mystery of peace, motion without fear, movement without loss. The traveler lifts his face toward the sky. His thoughts begin to quiet even further. No longer racing, no longer circling, but resting in rhythm with breath. He feels as though his mind has finally found its home, not in certainty, but in surrender. He whispers again, "Lord, keep my mind steadfast. Teach it to stay with you." The words fade softly into the air, but their meaning remains like a small flame within him. Steady, bright, unshaken. Breathe in. Steadiness. Breathe out. Strain. Let your thoughts settle upon what is eternal. The wind swells slightly. The grasses bend. The air cools. He sits in quiet awe, not of what moves, but of what remains. For even as the world shifts and time unfolds, one truth stays: he keeps. He closes his eyes one final time before moving on. and in the stillness between breaths. He feels it again. The peace that does not depend on outcome. The calm that does not waver. A keeping that cannot fail. The heavens declare His glory. The earth declares His constancy. And the steadfast mind, resting in trust, declares His perfect peace. The wind quiets again. The traveler remains seated on the ridge, eyes open, gaze soft upon the valley below. The world spreads out before him in a vast hush, sunlight washing over fields and trees like flowing honey. Every branch, every blade, every stone rests easily where it has been placed. There is no rush, no struggle, only harmony, only belonging. Breathe in, gentleness. Breathe out, tension. Let your strength learn the sound of softness. He had always believed strength meant standing firm, enduring, resisting. But now, as he watches the world move in its steady grace, he understands. True strength is quiet. It does not shout. It does not strain. It simply is, secure in the one who sustains all things. He remembers again the words that have become his anchor. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast. Because they trust in you. He repeats them slowly, tasting each one as though it were bread for the soul. The more he says it, the more he realizes. Steadfastness is not rigidity. It is trust stretched across time. He lowers his eyes to the earth. Small flowers bloom through cracks in the stones, delicate and bright. They do not fear the wind. They do not fear the night. They bloom because they trust the sun will rise again. That trust itself is their strength. Breathe in, quiet faith. Breathe out, loud fear. Strength is not noise. It is knowing. He closes his eyes and listens. Far below, the river continues its whispering song. Somewhere in the trees, a dove calls softly, low, rhythmic, patient. He feels his heart respond to those sounds, not in words, but in alignment. Every beat in harmony with creation's calm pulse. He realizes that even his heartbeat is not his own doing. He cannot command it, cannot control it, and yet it beats faithfully. Breath follows breath. Life continues, because unseen hands hold it all. That is strength. He breathes deeper now. Inhale. Slow. Deliberate. Exhale. Long. Peaceful. Each breath feels like surrender, yet also like victory. The traveler's thoughts begin to drift toward memory again. Times he was told to be strong, to push harder, to hold longer. He smiles faintly now, realizing that every time he let go, he did not lose. He simply learned how to be held. He whispers softly, Your strength is made perfect in my weakness. The verse belongs to another letter, another voice. But it belongs here too. Because perfect peace and perfect strength are born from the same trust. Breathe in, being held. Breathe out, holding on. Let peace become your strength. He rises slowly. The path beneath his feet curves upward, narrow but clear. Each step steady, grounded, patient. His balance comes not from control, but from calm. The earth gives way gently under his soles, yet holds firm beneath his weight. He feels the same happening inside, stability without stiffness, faith without force. He stops halfway up the incline. From here, the valley seems even wider. The river glitters like a ribbon of light. The fields move in waves of soft green. Every motion calm, every sound purposeful. He sees the quiet strength of creation everywhere, the kind that neither defends nor demands. It simply endures, by trusting its maker. Breathe in, endurance. Breathe out, anxiety. Let your peace hold you where effort once did. He sits upon a rock, the surface warm beneath him. He feels the slow hum of the earth through it, that ancient vibration that says all is well. He closes his eyes and leans slightly forward, his hands resting upon his knees. He feels the spirit there too, not loud, not far, but steady, always steady. The quiet within him is no longer fragile. It has become foundation, unshakable, like bedrock beneath a gentle stream, strong enough to hold, soft enough to guide. He whispers again, "You keep me," in perfect peace, and the words are no longer a plea, but a declaration. Not something he hopes for, but something he already lives in. Breathe in, rootedness. Breathe out, fear of falling. You are steady, not because you hold on, but because you are held. The traveler opens his eyes. The horizon bright, the day full and kind. The world continues its soft chorus, wind in trees, water in valley, heart in chest, each sound its own note, together forming one song, a song of peace that sounds like strength. The heavens declare his glory, the mountains declare his steadfastness, and the heart, trusting quietly, declares his perfect peace. The sun begins its slow descent toward the horizon. The air softens, turning golden, the heat of the day giving way to the hush of evening. The traveler descends from the ridge, his footsteps light, his pace unhurried, every sound now gentler, the world exhaling after a long inhale of light. He reaches a clearing beside the stream again. The same water that glimmered bright this morning now flows deeper in color, amber and rose reflecting the coming dusk. He kneels, dipping his hands into it. The water no longer feels cool, but warm, familiar, like a promise remembered. Breathe in warmth. Breathe out weariness. Let the slowing of the world teach your soul how to rest. He sits upon a smooth stone at the edge of the stream. The sky overhead changes tone with each passing minute. Gold fades into peach, peach into lavender, lavender into blue. Clouds stretch long and thin, glowing at the edges like candlelight through silk. He watches, wordless, entranced by the slow grace of evening. He feels the same transition happening inside. The mind that once hurried now drifts. The thoughts that once tightened now loosen. The heart that once guarded now opens like a flower folding into stillness. Peace has become the language of his being. It moves through him like light through the branches above. Soft, constant, transforming. Breathe in, light fading. Breathe out, love remaining. Peace does not vanish with the day. It deepens with the dark. He watches the first star appear, faint but steady. Then another, and another. Soon the sky fills with quiet fire. Each star a small declaration of the same truth. You are kept, even when you cannot see the sun. He thinks again of the verse. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you, and it occurs to him. That steadfastness is not only for bright hours. It is for this too, the twilight, the in-between, the slow drift from clarity into shadow. He whispers softly, I will trust you in the light, and I will trust you in the fading. The sound of his voice joins the song of the evening, the rustle of wind in the grass, the hum of insects rising, the steady rhythm of the river, each sound a thread, woven together by peace. Breathe in, twilight. Breathe out, transition. There is no need to fear endings. They are simply beginnings written in softer ink. He feels the coolness of the evening settle across his shoulders. The first hint of night stirs the air, carrying the scent of lavender and earth. He draws his cloak closer, not from cold, but to welcome the comfort of being covered. Evening has always been the hour of reassurance, the hour when peace rests closest to the skin. He looks down at his reflection in the darkening water. The sky within it holds both light and shadow. He smiles, because now he knows. Peace is not the absence of darkness. It is the calm presence that shines through it. He whispers, even now, even here, you keep me. And the water ripples once, as though agreeing. Breathe in, contentment. Breathe out, concern. Let your spirit match the rhythm of the fading light. The traveler leans back upon his hands. Above him, the last streak of sunlight melts behind the hills. Around him, The night's first cool breath begins to move through the trees. And within him, a greater stillness begins to rise. A peace no longer tied to sight or sound, but to trust alone. He closes his eyes. The sounds of evening fold into a gentle hum. Each note of creation's song repeating one truth: you are safe. You are loved. You are kept. He feels no urge to move. No need to think. The day has finished its work. And so has his heart. Breathe in. Peace completed. Breathe out. Self-effort released. This is the evening of the soul. The hour of quiet assurance. The heavens declare his glory. The dusk declares his gentleness. And the trusting heart, resting in the soft light of surrender, declares his perfect peace. Night has settled over the valley. The last hue of sunset has melted into deep blue, and the stars shimmer quietly above like 1,000 slow heartbeats. The traveler sits by the stream still, the air cool upon his skin, the earth warm beneath his feet. The world has fallen silent, not empty, but full of quiet presence. Breathe in. Darkness. Breathe out. Fear. Even the night belongs to God. He lifts his eyes to the heavens. The stars seem closer tonight. The constellations gentle and patient. Each one burns softly, not fighting against the dark, but shining through it. He watches the quiet strength of their glow, and realizes, this too is peace. Not the peace of daylight and clarity, but the peace that trusts when sight is gone. He recalls the verse again. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast. Because they trust in you, he lingers on the word trust this time. For now, in this shadowed hour, trust is no longer theory. It is breath. Breathe in. Unseen light. Breathe out. Unseen worry. Faith does not need proof. It needs presence. He lies back upon the soft earth. The night sky opening wide above him. The air smells of dew and soil, of lavender and stillness. The sounds of day have quieted, replaced by the steady rhythm of night, the river's low murmur, the whisper of wind through grass, the occasional hum of life unseen. All of it steady, all of it sure. Peace is not gone. It has simply changed form. He remembers the shadows that once lived inside him. The doubts, the anxious thoughts, the fears that grew in silence. They had felt so strong once, so large. But now, lying beneath the stars, they seem small, almost tender, as if even the dark parts of him are loved, simply waiting for the light to hold them. He whispers softly, "You are here, even now," and though the night offers no answer, his heart does, a deep, unspoken yes. Breathe in. Acceptance. Breathe out. Resistance. Even shadow can be sacred when it rests in light. He turns his head toward the stream. Its surface gleams faintly, silver ribbons catching starlight. The water moves slowly now, thick and dark, yet always flowing. He thinks of how peace moves the same way through his spirit, not loud, not visible, but constant, persistent, faithful. He smiles faintly, remembering that both light and shadow have purpose. The light reveals, and the shadow rests. One cannot exist without the other, and peace belongs to both. He breathes again. Inhale. Darkness. Exhale. Gratitude. The stars do not erase the night. They redeem it. He lets his eyes close, the cool air brushing his face like a gentle hand. Within the darkness of his closed lids, he sees light still, not from stars, but from within. A small glow, pulsing with every heartbeat. It is the peace of God, alive inside the shadow, burning steady, never dimming. He remembers something now. When he was a child, he feared the dark. He would call out, and a parent's voice would answer, soft, calm, "I'm here." And somehow, that single truth was enough. It still is. Breathe in. Comfort. Breathe out. Control. You do not need to see the way, only to know who walks beside you. The night deepens. The stars multiply. The air cools to a still perfection. He feels the quiet peace of being watched over. Every breath guarded. Every heartbeat known. Every moment held. He whispers again, almost asleep, "You will keep me in perfect peace. Because I trust in you." The words feel lighter this time, as if spoken not from effort, but from belonging. He turns slightly, his cheek against the earth, the ground beneath him steady, the sky above infinite. Between them, he rests, a soul safe in the keeping of its creator. Breathe in, being known. Breathe out, being afraid. This is the peace that holds through shadow. This is the light that never fades. The heavens declare his glory. The night declares his faithfulness. And the trusting heart, even in darkness, declares his perfect peace. The night deepens. The air is still. The stars above shimmer like the eyes of angels keeping silent watch. The traveler lies upon the earth, half between wakefulness and sleep. Each breath slow, steady, peaceful. The world feels vast, yet kind. And every sound carries the same truth. All is held. All is kept. All is known. Breathe in. Stillness. Breathe out. Surrender. You are safe. Even when you cannot see. He opens his eyes slightly, gazing at the curve of the sky. The constellations trace faint lines across the dark. They have not moved, though the world beneath them shifts and changes. And he realizes, peace is like this too, steady when life trembles, constant when the ground feels unsteady. He whispers softly, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast. Because they trust in you." The words flow from memory now, not as prayer alone, but as fact, a truth proven again and again through every quiet hour. Breathe in truth. Breathe out doubt. Let your heart find its anchor again. He sits up slowly. The grass is cool against his palms. Dew forming under the stars. A faint mist rises from the stream, silver against the darkness. It moves gently, unafraid of where it's going, carried by air unseen. He watches the mist drift upward, soft, unwavering. It reminds him of what it means to live unshaken, not still like stone, but steady like breath. He looks toward the horizon. The mountains stand as shadows, tall, unbroken, timeless. They do not move, yet they do not resist the wind that slides across them. Even in darkness, they keep their shape. They are not shaken, because they were made to endure. He whispers, "Make my heart like that, steady, unmovable, but gentle." And the wind answers with a sigh, a low and loving hum through the trees. Breathe in faith. Breathe out fear. Let the strength of the mountains settle into your bones. He remembers the times when storms had come, nights when everything felt uncertain, when loss pressed hard, when prayer was met with silence. He remembers how peace seemed distant then, how faith trembled. But somehow, he was carried through every one of them, not by his strength, but by something stronger, something unseen. Now, sitting in the quiet, he understands. The Spirit does not remove the storm. He steadies the heart inside it. That is what perfect peace means. Not absence of struggle, but presence that cannot be broken. Breathe in presence. Breathe out panic. God is not around your storm. He is within it. He looks up once more. A single shooting star glides across the sky. Brief, brilliant, gone. And yet the sky remains. Calm, vast, unbothered. Peace is not the flicker. It is the backdrop. Eternal, unchanging. He smiles faintly, because now he knows. Even when life flickers, peace remains. Even when the heart trembles, it is still held steady. He places his hand over his chest. The heartbeat beneath is slow, confident, grounded. the pulse of someone kept, someone anchored in something greater than himself. He whispers again, "My peace is not mine. It is yours. You keep me." And the quiet answers in return, "Always. Breathe in. Always. Breathe out. Never alone. You are held. As surely as the stars are kept in their courses." The traveler closes his eyes again. He can feel the warmth of the earth beneath him, the cool of night above. Two opposites in perfect harmony. As heaven and earth meet in peace. He understands now. That perfect peace is not fragile. It does not depend on calm circumstances. It lives within the heart that has learned to trust through trembling. It endures, because it rests in the one who never moves. Breathe in, unshaken. Breathe out, unrest. Let your soul rest in the constancy of his keeping. The heavens declare his glory. The mountains declare his steadfastness. And the Spirit, trusting through every shadow, declares his perfect peace. The night deepens into stillness. A gentle quiet now covers the earth like a soft blanket. The stream flows slower, whispering secrets to the stones. The stars remain bright, their light steady and kind. Everything around him seems to hum the same sacred note: rest, rest, rest. The traveler lies back once more upon the grass. His hands rest over his heart, his eyes half closed. Every breath moves slower, deeper. The peace within him no longer needs words, no longer seeks signs. It simply sings, not through voice, but through being. Breathe in, peace. Breathe out, praise. Let your heart become its own gentle hymn. He listens. The air carries the faint sound of crickets, the murmur of the stream, the rhythm of his own pulse. Each sound woven into harmony, each one part of the same divine song. A melody without beginning or end. The music of the kept soul. He thinks, this is what worship must sound like when the world sleeps. No noise, no effort, no striving. Just existence itself giving thanks. He whispers softly, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast. Because they trust in you." The words drift into the dark, like a lullaby offered back to its source. He breathes in again. The air cool, sweet, fragrant with night-blooming jasmine. It feels as though the entire world has exhaled at last. And in that exhale, he rests too. Breathe in, stillness. Breathe out, surrender. Let the night teach you the rhythm of rest. He remembers how the psalmist once wrote, "In peace I will lie down and sleep. For you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety." And he realizes, this moment is that prayer fulfilled. Not by his doing, but by his trusting. For when the heart stops trying to control tomorrow, peace sings its sweetest song tonight. The wind stirs softly, brushing the tops of the grass like fingertips on strings. It hums low through the trees, bending the branches just enough to make them sigh. The sound rises and falls like breath, like worship, like the Spirit's own song of rest moving through the night. He listens and feels tears well in his eyes, not of sadness, but of awe. How simple peace is when the heart finally stops running. How near God feels when silence is no longer empty. Breathe in nearness. Breathe out noise. The presence that fills the quiet is not absence. It is love. He hums now, just under his breath. No melody, just tone. Soft, steady,
pure.
The sound blends with the air around him, as if creation itself joins in. The river, the crickets, the wind, even the stars seem to pulse in rhythm with the tune. The song of rest has no words. It is the sound of peace made audible, the voice of a soul finally at ease with being kept. He smiles faintly, remembering all the nights before, the ones filled with worry, with plans, with endless questions. Tonight, there are none. Only gratitude, only warmth, only rest. He whispers, "Thank you for keeping me. Even when I forget you are near." The words dissolve into the dark, but peace answers quietly, "I never left." Breathe in, grace received. Breathe out, self-reliance. You were never meant to carry what peace was designed to hold. The night presses closer now, soft and protective. It feels as though heaven itself has lowered to earth, wrapping everything in holy quiet. The world sleeps, yet God watches. And that truth becomes the final verse of the song. He closes his eyes completely. The stream hums. The stars glow. The wind sighs. And within him, the Spirit sings still, wordless, endless, whole. The heavens declare his glory. The night declares his gentleness. And the heart, finally at rest, declares his perfect peace. The night is thick now, deep, sacred, quiet. Even the crickets pause between their songs, and the wind has settled into soft sighs among the trees. The stream continues its low murmur, steady as a heartbeat, a gentle pulse through the silence. The traveler lies motionless, eyes closed, body loose and weightless. He feels as though he's floating in the calm breath of creation itself. Breathe in, stillness. Breathe out, striving. Let your soul sink into the quiet beneath sound. The peace around him feels different now. It is no longer just calm air or restful thought. It is presence, living, infinite, wrapping itself around him like unseen arms. This silence, it is not empty. It is full. Full of God. Full of breath. Full of being. He remembers the words from Scripture, "Be still, and know that I am God." And for the first time, he understands them not as command, but as invitation. Stillness is not demanded. It is offered. It is the space where knowing happens without thought, where the heart listens without sound. Breathe in, knowing. Breathe out, noise. You are not alone in silence. You are met there. The traveler's breathing slows even further. Each inhale deeper. Each exhale longer. Between each breath, there is a pause, a moment of nothing. But within that nothing, everything exists. The world holds its breath with him. The stars, the earth, the river, all resting in rhythm with his soul. He feels peace descend deeper than before. Not upon the skin, not in the chest, but somewhere far within, beyond words, beyond image, beyond self. The place where the spirit meets its maker in perfect trust. He whispers, not aloud, but inwardly, "You will keep me. You will keep me in perfect peace." And the words echo in the silence, like ripples in a still pond, not returning to him, but expanding outward, endlessly. Breathe in, eternal. Breathe out, temporal. Let go of time. Let go of effort. He senses God there, not walking beside him, not watching from above, but breathing with him, through him. Each inhale divine, each exhale human, and somewhere between the two, they meet. He realizes. This is communion, the union of breath and spirit, the merging of peace and presence. The silence deepens again. He cannot tell where he ends and the quiet begins. There is no border now between self and serenity. Only stillness, vast and tender. He has no desire to move, no need to think. Even gratitude feels too loud for this moment. He simply is. And that being is worship. Breathe in, existence. Breathe out, everything else. You do not need to do. You only need to be. He feels the earth beneath him, solid, warm, kind. It holds him without demand. It gives without request. Even the ground seems to understand the rhythm of grace. A soft wind returns, touching his face like a whisper. It feels like a reminder, like God breathing peace back into the silence. The spirit moves quietly, never interrupting, only deepening. He thinks of all the noise that once filled his life, the endless hum of thought, of fear, of wanting to understand. all of it fading now like echoes in a canyon too wide to hold them. He smiles faintly, eyes still closed. The silence is not frightening anymore. It feels like home. For silence is not absence, it is the sound of peace fulfilled. Breathe in. Fulfillment. Breathe out. Fatigue. Let your rest become prayer. The night holds him. The stars remain steady. The stream flows softly beside him. And in that deep quiet, God's presence speaks the loudest. No words. No images. Only love. The heavens declare His glory. The silence declares His presence. And the heart, resting without thought, declares His perfect peace. The night has grown deep and velvet. The stars shimmer softly like candles on an unseen altar. The traveler lies upon the earth still, his breathing slow, his soul open and unguarded. Around him, the world keeps its silent watch, and above him, heaven seems to lean close. Breathe in. Presence. Breathe out. Fear. You are watched over in love, not in judgment. He can feel the weight of peace now. Not heavy, but grounding, like a warm blanket pulled across the chest, like the steady pulse of a heartbeat beneath calm skin. The stillness is no longer just around him, it is within him. A quiet that breathes, that holds, that guards. He opens his eyes. The moon has risen, soft and low over the horizon. Its light spreads across the land in silver waves, touching every leaf, every ripple, every stone. Nothing escapes its glow. And in that tender illumination, he sees the reflection of God's care. Nothing too small to be seen, nothing too quiet to be heard. Breathe in, being known. Breathe out, being anxious. You are seen, always, even here, even now. The stream glimmers faintly beside him. The moonlight traces its path like a thread of mercy. He watches as small ripples catch the light, each one moving toward him. And he thinks, this is how love moves too. Constant, gentle, always arriving. He whispers softly, you keep me. When I wake, and when I sleep, the words rise from memory, perhaps from the Psalms he once read as a boy. He cannot recall where exactly, but the truth feels older than words. He gazes upward again. The stars above seem alive, not cold, but compassionate. Each one watching with quiet faithfulness. It feels as if the sky itself keeps vigil with him. He realizes then that peace does not end when the body grows weary. It becomes watchful. While the heart rests, peace stands guard. Breathe in, being kept. Breathe out, being careless. The night does not forget you. Because God never sleeps. He turns slightly, resting on his side, eyes still half open. The cool breeze brushes his face, carrying the scent of water and pine. It feels like the very breath of God, moving through the dark, keeping all things alive. Even this, even now, is evidence of care. He remembers the verse once more. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. And the word keep glows brighter now, like the moon on water. To be kept means to be guarded through what cannot be seen. To be kept means peace watches when you cannot. He exhales slowly. The air leaves his lungs in a whisper and returns as calm. Each breath, a quiet assurance, I am safe. I am known. I am held. He closes his eyes again. The silence feels alive, as though heaven itself has taken its place beside him. The spirit keeps watch not above, but within. And in that nearness, every boundary between sleep and prayer begins to blur. Breathe in, nearness. Breathe out, distance. God is closer than your breath. He dreams, not of images, but of peace itself, a light that expands, a presence that hums, a comfort that hums through every part of him. Even in sleep, his soul continues to whisper, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." The moon drifts higher. The stars shimmer. The river hums softly. All creation remains awake in its devotion. It is the sacred night watch, heaven keeping vigil while the soul rests. Breathe in, assurance. Breathe out, surrender. Nothing is required of you now, only rest. The traveler's chest rises and falls, slow, rhythmic, peaceful. The light around him glows faintly, like the breath of peace itself. The world is quiet, but alive. And in that stillness, unseen hands keep what has been entrusted. The heavens declare his glory. The moon declares his watchfulness. And the heart, resting under his care, declares his perfect peace. The night holds its quiet breath. The world has slowed to its gentlest rhythm. The stars no longer seem distant. They hover like patient witnesses, and the moon glows soft and low above the stream. The traveler lies wrapped in calm, not asleep yet, but resting at the edge of it, the space between waking and dreaming where peace feels closest. Breathe in, safety. Breathe out, control. Let the day release its final grip on you. The air carries a hush, as though all creation has decided to rest together. Even the wind moves softly now, just enough to stir the tall grass beside him. The sound is like a lullaby, faint and tender, rising and falling in time with his breath. He feels the world folding gently around him. The earth beneath, steady, warm, alive. The sky above, endless, bright with quiet light. And between them, his body, small, precious, perfectly placed. He whispers to himself, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast. Because they trust in you." The words drift slowly into the cool air. They no longer sound like something he's reading or remembering. They sound like something that has become part of him. Something that breathes as he breathes. Breathe in truth. Breathe out tension. Let the mind rest where the heart already trusts. He closes his eyes. Behind his eyelids, the light of the moon still glows faintly, silver against the dark. It becomes a soft shimmer that dances with every breath. He imagines that glow is peace itself, alive, steady, guarding him through the night. The gentle pulse of the stream continues nearby. It sounds like a whisper from God himself, a rhythm that says, "Rest now. You are safe." Each movement of water carries the same message. I am here. Still. Always. He turns onto his side. The grass cool against his cheek. The fragrance of earth and water fills the air. He breathes it in deeply, and feels gratitude rise within him like warmth from the inside out. Breathe in gratitude. Breathe out thought. Peace deepens in thankfulness. He remembers the day that brought him here, the restlessness, the noise, the effort, the fear. And he smiles faintly, because all of it has been answered, not with explanation, but with presence. He does not need to understand anymore. He only needs to rest. He whispers, "You have been my peace in the morning, and you are my peace in the night." And as he says it, the wind seems to pause, as though to listen. Even silence bends its ear toward prayer spoken with trust. The moonlight flickers softly through the branches. The light dances across his skin like the gentle movement of blessing. He lets it rest there, feeling each beam as touch, each flicker as assurance. Breathe in blessing. Breathe out burden. Let love be the last thing you feel tonight. He opens his eyes one more time. The stars above remain ancient and steady. Their glow feels personal now, like lanterns hung by unseen hands, each one whispering the same truth. You are kept, even while you sleep. He sighs quietly, the kind of sigh that empties the soul of everything it no longer needs. The body loosens. The breath deepens. He feels peace settle over him completely, through skin, through thought, through spirit. The last sound he hears is the water's soft hymn, a rhythm older than memory, the lullaby of a keeping God. Breathe in light. Breathe out release. Let the night receive you gently. His eyelids grow heavy. The world fades slowly into softness, and before sleep takes him, he whispers once more, "Perfect peace, because I trust you." The heavens declare his glory. The night declares his tenderness. And the heart, surrendering fully, declares his perfect peace. The world has fallen into deep stillness. The moon has drifted higher. Silver light soft across the earth. The air carries no sound now but the low whisper of the stream. Even that seems slower, quieter, as though creation itself has begun to dream. The traveler sleeps, his breathing calm, steady, the slow rise and fall of one completely kept. No struggle in the chest, no shadow upon the mind, only the hush of rest, the gift of trust made visible. Breathe in, silence. Breathe out, safety. Let your whole being rest beneath his keeping. Within sleep, his spirit stirs gently. It does not wander through noise or memory. It moves through peace. He dreams, but not of faces or places. He dreams of light, of presence, of breath. The kind of dream where everything is whole, where nothing is missing. In this dream, he walks once more through the garden. But now the light is not of dawn or day. It is something softer, like starlight through mist. The air is warm, fragrant, and the sound of the fountain returns. Clear, eternal. He walks without effort, his steps silent upon the path. Every leaf glows faintly, every branch hums with quiet life. He feels no weight, no worry, no separation between himself and peace. He is inside it, surrounded by it, breathing it in with every motion. Breathe in, eternal rest. Breathe out, remembrance. You are walking in the garden of God's keeping. He approaches the fountain again. The same water that once reflected the morning now shines with moonlight. Each ripple holds tiny stars, a sky resting within water. He kneels beside it, but does not reach in. He only watches, his reflection clear and calm, his eyes alight with contentment. He whispers in his dream, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast. Because they trust in you." The words do not echo now. They do not fade into distance. They expand, as if the garden itself repeats them, as if every stone and leaf knows the same verse. The fountain hums softly, and the air moves with invisible rhythm, the rhythm of divine keeping. In the dream, the traveler feels the presence of God, not beside him, not before him, but within, like breath that never ends, like light that never dims. Breathe in, presence. Breathe out, self. There is no boundary between the soul and peace. He lifts his eyes. The walls of the garden shimmer faintly. They are not made of stone anymore, but of light, flowing and alive. They move with each breath he takes, expanding and contracting gently, as if peace itself is breathing with him. He feels no fear of leaving this place, for now he understands. This garden was never outside him. It was always within, a refuge built of trust, kept alive by love. He whispers again, "I am kept, always kept," and the words do not fall away this time. They rise. They take form. They become light. The glow spreads outward, across the garden, through the sky, until everything shines. Breathe in, illumination. Breathe out, limits. Peace has no edges. It fills all that will allow it. The dream deepens. The garden fades into light. The fountain's song blends with the stream's rhythm beyond the gate. And soon, the water, the air, the stars, his breath, all become one sound, stillness. The traveler rests completely, his mind at peace, his spirit steady. Even in dreams, he trusts. Even asleep, he is kept. Breathe in, gratitude. Breathe out, grace. There is no distance between the waking heart and the dreaming soul in God's hands. The moon hangs bright, the sky unmoving. The earth hums softly in its sleep. And above, the heavens continue their endless declaration that peace belongs to the trusting. The heavens declare his glory. The night declares his nearness. And the soul, dreaming of the eternal, declares his perfect peace. The night begins to lift. The stars grow pale, one by one fading into dawn. The river sighs softly in the distance, its voice changing with the light. And somewhere in the east, the horizon glows faint gold, a quiet promise being kept once again. The traveler stirs gently, eyes still closed, body still wrapped in warmth. Sleep lingers like a soft veil over his spirit. But even as he wakes, peace remains. It hums through him like a melody carried from his dreams. Breathe in, renewal. Breathe out, yesterday. Let the light of peace rise within you, as surely as the sun does now. He opens his eyes. The sky above glows with the first blush of morning, pinks, blues, and golds folding into one another like silk. The moon lingers faintly, refusing to rush away. And for a moment, night and day share the same sky, shadow and light in perfect harmony. He sits up slowly, the grass cool beneath his hands, dew clinging to his palms like small drops of blessing. The air is crisp, new, yet familiar. He breathes deeply, filling his lungs with morning. The scent of life returns, clean earth, river mist, the faint sweetness of fig leaves. Each breath feels like grace returning to the body. He whispers softly, "You have kept me through the night. You have given me rest." And peace remains. The words rise into the dawn, and the air seems to shimmer in answer. Breathe in, mercy new with morning. Breathe out, what has already been forgiven. The traveler looks toward the horizon. The first beam of sunlight touches the hills. It slides across the land like a painter's brush. Waking color, waking sound, waking praise. The world begins again, not with noise, but with reverence. And within him, the same beginning stirs. He remembers the verse. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. He repeats it once more, slower this time, savoring every word. You will keep, you, not I, in perfect peace, peace that nothing can undo. Those whose minds are steadfast, hearts that stay with you, even in the shadows, because they trust, not in what they see, but in who you are. He smiles. The night taught him to trust. The silence taught him to listen. And now, the morning teaches him to begin again, gently, quietly, with peace already in his hands. Breathe in, beginning. Breathe out, burden. Each sunrise is another invitation to rest in what never ends. He rises to his feet. The light spills across the path ahead, bright but soft. The garden gate waits in the distance, open, welcoming, unchanged. He knows he will walk forward now, into the day, into work, into life. But peace will walk with him. He glances at the stream one last time. It glows golden beneath the new sun. The same water that shimmered beneath stars now gleams beneath light. And he realizes, nothing truly changes when one trusts. Peace flows through night and morning the same. He closes his eyes. And in that quiet moment before the world fully wakes, he whispers, "Thank you for perfect peace, for being the keeper of my every breath." Breathe in, gratitude. Breathe out, glory. You are kept, always. The sunlight spreads wider now. Birdsong rises like gentle laughter from the trees. The wind moves lightly through the grass, and the first warmth of day touches his face. It feels like a hand, like a promise, like love. He steps forward into the light, each step slow, peaceful, sure. He does not hurry, for he knows the one who keeps him walks ahead. The night is over. The promise remains. Peace does not end with sleep. It awakens with the dawn. Still perfect, still steadfast, still kept. Breathe in, forever. Breathe out, now. You are safe in both. The heavens declare His glory. The morning declares His faithfulness. And the trusting heart, awake and whole, declares His perfect peace. Now rest, or rise, knowing the same hands that held you through the night will carry you through the day.